Members of Congress, many of them scrambling to leave Washington before yet another winter storm. But before departing, Congress had to deal with a big issue, continuing a resolution keeping the lights on for government, averting a partial government shutdown that would come at midnight Friday. That's tomorrow night. But what does that mean? Where does this put us? What's next? Joining me to give us the latest from Capitol Hill is Oklahoma Congressman Kevin Hern. He serves on the House Ways and Means Committee, and he's the chairman of the Republican Study Committee. He represents the 1st Congressional District of the Sooner State. Congressman, welcome back to the program. Good to see you.
Tony, it's great to be with you.
All right, so this is another CR. That's a continuing resolution, short-term spending bill. This gets us to the first part of March. What's in this?
Well, certainly continued to spend at the previous levels. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Joe Biden policy riders that are all the things that we hate as conservatives, the DEI issues, the abortion travel issues, all these things are in these continuing resolutions. That's why it's so important that we actually get our appropriation bills done in order. Ever since I've been here for almost 6 years, we've talked about regular order. I'm sure you've talked with member after member that said that.
Almost 20 years I've been talking about that.
Well, if you look at Speaker Johnson, and I know we love football and you guys love LSU football, but he really got.
But before I was an LSU fan in Louisiana, I was an Oklahoma fan as I grew up there. So
yeah,
I'm partial to
Oklahoma. So we get this, and so the analogy I like to use is that Speaker Johnson was brought in at the 2-minute warning, and not in the first half, but in the second half, and asked to win the game, or at least keep it continued. So we're in overtime. We tied the game. We're in overtime. We're continuing. But we want to win the game, and winning the game is really getting our budget done on time or early, and getting the appropriation cycle back on time or early, and do that with the leverage that we don't go home until we do. The American people are sick and tired of these continuing resolutions.
I would agree. So March has to be a red line because we had a CR before Christmas, which I supported because I've seen those omnibus that have come out of those Christmas, backdrop where we've had Congress's back up to the Christmas break. But here's another one. We're continuing kicking the can down the road to March. Now the House has passed 7 of the 12 appropriations bills. You've got 5 more to go, but the Senate has to act.
Yeah, I think people forget, all attention's on the House because we do have the power of the purse. But, we know that, we, like you said, we worked, fervently all through last year, got 7 appropriation bills passed out of the House, that represented some 81% of government spending. That was under Speaker McCarthy's leadership. And, we also negotiated H.R. 1, which is our energy policy, H.R. 2, our border policy. And that H.R. 2, that border policy, is front and center right now with Senator Langford working on border policy on the Senate side. But we've now got to come together, work with our Democrat colleagues on the appropriation bills and get those done between March 1st and March 8th. And it's going to change. We're going to change our schedule. We're going to have to get back here and do our part to work that week that we were supposed to be back in our districts the last week of February. We got to get back up here and work. And we got to make sure we get the appropriations done on time before the next CR hit. And
then secondly is make sure the Senate does their part, because if the House goes through this process and the Senate doesn't, I don't think the House should accept another continuing resolution.
Well, that's where I'm at. I've been opposed to them just because I think it's irresponsible, and that's my take on it. Irresponsible. I came here being a fiscal conservative under the guidance, and the person that got me involved in politics was Senator Tom Coburn, House Congressman.
And he used to track all the wasteful spending. I remember his waste book that he would keep up with all of the frivolous spending that the government was involved in, and it was a thick book.
Well, and I think part of the problem is we don't follow our own laws. I mean, the 1974 Budget Control Act, there's a lot of conversation about we should change it. Well, we shouldn't change something that we're not actually even trying to do. The only thing that prevents us from hitting those deadlines is us. And so, that's my concern as we continue to kick this can down the road, is that we're now, for the American people, we're halfway through the 2024 budget season, and we're just now doing the appropriations process. We need to get our appropriators working on 25, not still working on 6 months left of 24.
Yeah. That's a good point. I mean, if we get this done in March, will we have time to meet the deadlines for next year?
Well, certainly, as chair of the Republican Study Committee, we're pushing on the budget. Constitutionally, we're supposed to have our budget done by April 15th. We're going to have the RSC budget done by March 15th. And the reason we can do this efficiently, effectively, and early or on time is because we do them year after year.
Right.
That's the problem with Congress. We don't have any muscle memory of actually doing these. If we actually did these budgets on time and the appropriations on time, we would have the muscle memory and the ability to do it.
Excellent point. It's been so long since it's been done. People don't remember how to do it because so many people here have never seen that process work as it should, as you pointed out. Congressman Kevin Hern, always great to see you. Thanks so much for giving us an update.
Thanks, Tony. Safe travels.
All right.